Everyone, it's 3:50 p.m. on this Monday afternoon. We're about 10 minutes from the close of the market. I just wanted to make a quick video to go through today's action and what we got done today. Well, the first thing we had on the list was AAL, American Airlines. This one actually did trigger. Our trigger price was 43.05. It hit 43.09 early in the morning and then flushed. This is just very important to note right here that in terms of the triggers, you want to see signs of follow through. So basically what you want to see is a price movement, a substantial movement about 10 or 15 ticks above the trigger price. We also want to see price close comfortably above the trigger price before we could confirm that there's signs of follow through. In this case, there was none. So we top ticked and then flushed right down, and we kind of just traded sideways for the rest of the day. If AAL could get back above 42, then we'll be in it. I'd really love to see this one get back above 42. There are lots of shorts in there. There's a lot of opportunity for an upside squeeze. But we did not take AAL today because it triggered and then failed, so no trade for AAL. The next trade on the list was DE. I did squeeze off a trade in DE. It triggered above our trigger price of let's see here, 93.65, and it just kind of went sideways afterwards, but the price action is pretty good. We're seeing buying in there. We're seeing signs that we could see a little more upside over the next couple of days. 94.26 seems to be the area of resistance right now. So if you could get a strong open tomorrow and get above that, we could be off to the races. But we're in DE, trigger price 93.65. The next trade was BA. This one triggered nicely, followed through nicely, went right down pretty close to the target of 142. But unfortunately, we didn't get in. I sent off a trade a bit below the market. The market just didn't come back to our price, and I didn't want to chase it. It's right above our target of 42. I wouldn't think about going short right now. 42 is a pretty strong area of support, so we could see that be tested tomorrow. It could bounce back off it. As you could see, it really didn't actually get to 42. The low today, as I could see here, was around 42.16. So there's pretty strong support around 42. But it triggered nicely, really followed through. Would have been a nice one. Again, didn't get in. The market just didn't come back to our price, and I did not want to chase it. Did not want to chase it. Okay. The next trade we had there was let's see, ESRX. This one too actually triggered nicely. It tried to hold the 89.50 area for most of the day, but then it just kind of broke and flushed. I did not get in this one because the volume on the calls it's just very thin, very thin, and I could see that the spreads were kind of wide on the options, and I don't like getting in when we see those wide spreads. They can be gamed. You end up paying a lot more for the contract than you really should have. Separate and apart from that, the implied volatility, the IV on these puts, it just wasn't ticking up right. It just wasn't looking like something that would pay out in a very reasonable period of time. So I kind of stayed away from it. I still don't like the way it looks, so maybe I'll just stay away from ESRX for now. I mean, it happens sometimes. You set up a trade, and then when it finally triggers and you look at it, you realize it's not really worth the effort to jump in, and that was the case with ESRX right here. It was a good short if you're trading just a stock, and I did have a couple of emails today from a couple of members. Hi Sharon, I know you're watching. Sharon, she went short on the trigger and the stock, so she picked up a couple points there, point and a half maybe. Well done on that one. Just didn't take the option trade. The next trade was YY. Okay, this one triggered nicely, and we got in around here. Then we got the flush down to this level, but the buyer stepped in, pushed it back up. Buyer stepped in here again, pushed it back up. Right now, as you can see, the area of concern just for today on an intraday basis is around this 68.25 area. We actually broke out above it just in the last couple of minutes, last half hour or so. But then we just we're now backing off of it. If we get a strong open on YY tomorrow, we could see a breakout move to the upside, and we could get our 70 target. So we'll just have to watch closely and see how the price action shapes up. Today's price action shows that the buyers were still pretty much in control. They had most of the day. So we'll just see how YY goes tomorrow. We're in it long the June 70 calls, and we're watching for that move towards that 70 area. If we could get a strong open tomorrow, then we could get out of YY and move on. Now the market's down big today. Now why is it down? All the pundits, all the headlines I've seen, they're talking about dollar strength. And as you can see right here, this is the UUP, which is a ETF of the US dollar. It tracks the US dollar. Now, when the dollar is up big, you find that commodities on a whole get crushed. You find that cross currencies like the euro moves lower. So that was causing the pressure on the European markets overnight. But the bigger picture here is that why is the dollar up? That's the question. Everybody's saying, well, yeah, data and dollar strength is causing the market to trade lower today. Well, fundamentally speaking, on a fundamental basis, there are a couple of reasons for that. There are a couple of reasons why the dollar is stronger. We're seeing people get into the dollar and into US bonds because of what's going on in Europe. And primarily what's going on in Europe is Greece. And as you recall, I spoke about that last night briefly. Let's take a look here. When I showed you the chart of the S&P 500, and I said we had shortened ranges here, and whenever you see the range getting short here, we're preparing for a breakout, either to the upside or to the downside. Now, up until the open this morning, I was expecting a breakout to the upside, but once we opened and all the news came flushing out, then we saw a flush out to the downside. Now, I wouldn't worry too much about the downside here, because as I said yesterday, let's see if we could cue it up. As I pointed out yesterday, we are in a channel here. I'm not doing such a good job with this, with my lines here, but let me get it. Okay, right. So we are in a channel here, and I'm thinking we could get another push down to test the bottom of this channel here. If we hold here, we could see another rally to the upside. It could be a buying opportunity, but we have to watch this level. If we trade down and close below it, then we're in trouble. I think we could flush out to the downside, possibly test this area one more time. But for now, fundamentally speaking, dollar strength, weakness in Europe caused by jitters in Greece. That's a fundamental story for this weakness here. But on a technical basis, we could see right here that we already had signs of indecision. Now, once again, this just points to the fact that technical considerations trump fundamental considerations nearly all the time. Because what took place today was actually playing out in the market days before the news hit. This right here was just signs of indecision. They didn't know whether they wanted to go up or down. We turned out going down. It just so happens that the news happens to be about Greece. But all I'm trying to say is that the price action kind of dictated to us that, look, there's some indecision here. Watch for a move up or a move down, and we got the move down. And we could be testing right here. So that's it for now. Just wanted to go through what we did today. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the week. I'm seeing lots of opportunities pop up. I have a couple of trades that are blinking on my system right now. I'll be going over them tonight, and if they look good enough, I'll be sending them out tomorrow. I think we could make some money on the downside if we continue to flush. And then we are being prepared. I'm going to be prepared to buy this dip if we hold this level, and we could get a nice bounce off it. So have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.